After searching for a long time to find a house near the trails, we finally did earlier this year, and as soon as we bought it, we dove into the garage project that I showed you guys in an earlier video, and we were just loving it. And so we started moving all of our stuff in. We set up our guest room and office, which was the first time having separated rooms in over 2 years, and then unfortunately something bad happened. Woke up this morning, walked in here, just pool of water. Bathroom, toilet was running and it was just flowing out the door, soaked all this area, soaked into this room. And while I didn't want to deal with reflooring things, and I was hoping that fans and vacuuming would get it all dry, it doesn't seem to be working. And a friend messaged me and said that not a smart approach to not rip up the carpet. And so now I got to rip up the carpet. That way it'll all dry, won't have any mold, and then after I get off work in a few days, I'll figure out what we're gonna do about it. So, super exciting. Okay, update. Carpet's all out, pads all out, water stain, span. Got the fans all ripping. Got 2 out there, another one in there, this strong one right here. And I'm not totally sure about this situation right here. There's tile there. I don't know a lot about tile or how, the water might be in there, so debating if I need to call a remediation company to get their opinion and maybe look into an insurance claim. This may be a big project. Long story short, it was a very big project, and I ended up going through insurance for it, and I hired a remediation company, and I'm glad I did because they came in with their moisture meters and found that the moisture had gone not just in the bathroom and the living room, but also the 2 adjoining bedrooms. And so they ended up tearing out all of the tile and everything that could possibly trap moisture in, including the drywall up to the knees in most of the rooms and out into the living room. And then they set up tons of dehumidifiers and heaters and fans to get everything dried out before any mold could start to form. And then it was up to me to figure out what the rebuild process was going to look like. And so I reached out to a contractor, got a quote, and then sent it to insurance, and then I waited for 3 months, and now here we are in the fall, still not living in half the house. I got some samples from Flooret, online direct-to-consumer flooring company. Picked the color. They sent me samples of the different sizes that you can get. So they have the smallest Craftsman style, which is like hardwood size, your standard LVP size, and then they have the Signature, which is this really big. It's like 9-inch by 72-inch plank, and it's all LVP, click lock. But the reason I'm going with it is because it's got a 40 mil wear layer, which is it's like double the highest amount I can find in any stores locally, and fully waterproof, underlayment attached. It actually has a lifetime warranty, and so it's gonna take all of the abuse from us, our future kid, Maru, and I won't have to do it again in the near future. So I've got a full truckload of it in the garage right now, and I've just got to tear everything out and figure out how to put it in. So here it is, a full pile of our new flooring. So after over 3 months, I finally heard back from insurance, and they said they would cover roughly half of what the contractor had quoted me to fix the problem, and that means that I couldn't hire a contractor. I had to put most of the money towards material, and I was gonna have to do it myself. So that's what I did. I dove into tearing out all of the existing carpet. It was old, and half of the room was covered from the flood, and so it had to go, and that all came out okay. And then I needed to remove all of the tack strips from the carpet since we weren't going to be putting any carpet back in, and they were really old. And then I needed to get the baseboards off, and I bought this fancy little tool from Lowe's, and after I sliced the caulk line, I used it to help pry the boards off, and it actually worked really well, and I didn't punch any holes through the drywall. And then I needed to get the tile out of the entryways because Sadie had decided that she hated it, and so it had to go, and I just went to town on it. It actually came up pretty easy. It did leave a ton of screws behind and also took up a few chunks of the subfloor that would need to be repaired later, but overall it came out fine, and in the end I'm happy I did. And after that, I took a shovel and a pair of pliers and a hammer and went around just scraping and removing all of the old staples and
screws and just anything sticking up on the subfloor that would cause issues with the LVP later. And I'd be doing a check as I went with the LVP too, so this was kind of just a pre-cleaning. And after that, I just removed more of the baseboard until I had all of it in the entire house out. Then it was time to grab some flooring and get it hauled into the house.
Look at this, first bundle. I'm gonna bring them inside so that they can acclimate to the temperature and the humidity and everything in there for at least a few days before I install.
Once I got most of the flooring, I wanted to do a test fit just to see how it looked, get some measurements, and also see how it would be to work with moving both directions, the way you should go backwards and forwards, and also to compare it to the color of maroon.
It's so good.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
It's so
Don't do that
good.
again.
What's
This really hurt.
I know. Here.
So I read online that you're only supposed to have about a 1/16 of an inch of variance per foot on your floor before you install the LVP so that it doesn't rock or just cause any issues. So I bought this filler and I just made sure to fill in any holes that I found. And then I cut out a chunk of carpet in our master bedroom so that I could haul the rest of the flooring in there to let it acclimate, even though I didn't want to completely tear apart the bedroom until the day that I was going to actually be reflooring that. And then I went back into the kitchen and I pulled out the rest of the baseboard in there, and I had to remove all of the LVP, which is actually some really decent stuff. It was just too dark for our liking and for Maru, and so I pulled it all out and I was able to give it to somebody on Facebook that they're going to use in a couple of rooms in their house, so it's not going to go to waste. And then my father-in-law came over and gave me a hand to remove something that Sadie has been asking me to rip out since the day the flood happened, which was that little bridge over the entryway into the kitchen as well as the pantry, because right now our kitchen is fairly isolated from the living room and we wanted to open things up a little bit. And so I grabbed the hacksaw and went to town on it, and we just made a bunch of dust. But after a few hours of smashing and using the saw, I was able to completely remove the whole thing, and I'm glad we did, because though we may add back a cabinet at counter height and a countertop in the future, having this open space just makes it to where when we're hanging out, we can talk to people that are in the living room and back into the kitchen and vice versa, and just doesn't feel as tightly compartmentalized. And in the future, I'll probably add back a pantry in the mudroom where I think we've got a little bit of room. But for now, we just wanted the space. After the pantry was removed, I had to rehang the light switch and an outlet box, and I did that at counter height because we may add a cabinet with a counter back there in the future. And I added some backer boards just in case we want to hang anything. And then I hired some help because the drywall and other things were looking a little bit intimidating to me and time consuming, and I'm so glad that I did because they were so much better at it than I was. They ended up having a lot of good advice and help for multiple things across this project, and I was able to just focus on the floors. And so I went around to the carpeted areas where there was still trim going down to the floor, and I carved it back using a piece of scrap wood that was able to give me the exact tolerance for what I would need to get the LVP slid under there.
Finally time to start installing the actual flooring. We've been doing prep for the last couple of days. Had drywall guys in here doing drywall. Everything on the drywall is done with the exception of the texturing, which I should probably be waiting for them to finish that before I start flooring, but I don't have the time to do that. So we're gonna start laying the flooring in this living room, and I've been trying to figure out what arrangement would be best, where to start, which direction to work, and then also what I want to base my line off of, because I've heard that there's sometimes massive variation between walls as far as how parallel they are and squared up to everything. And so usually I've heard exterior walls are best, but this house was built about 30 years ago in a time when maybe they spent a little extra time making sure alignment was good, because I measured the distance between this wall, these two walls right here, and while it's not a super long run of only about 15 feet, I had pretty much exact parallel between them,
which this is the most critical room for me. I want it to look straight from the front door and from the living room going into the kitchen, and so I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna base my run off of that. Either one of these walls would work. I think I'm gonna start over there just because my tongue is on the right side of the plank, and so starting in a left corner makes the most sense to me as of now. And I'm gonna work back this direction. So then once I get over into the kitchen, I'm gonna be working away from where I started, which maybe is slightly less optimal than working back, but the majority of the house I'll be working back. So in through the actual kitchen, into the second and third bedroom and the other bathroom. So that's the plan. We'll see if it works. It was finally time to start actually laying flooring, and so I use these spacers that give me a nice uniform 1/4 inch space off of the drywall, since this is a floating floor and it needs to have a little bit of room to expand and contract seasonally as temperatures fluctuate. And then I just started working back into the right, since that's the direction that the tongues faced, and they all clicked together fairly smooth. It took a bit of time to carve each board on the end near the fireplace, since I wanted to have a nice close tolerance there. And overall it went really smooth. I used a tap block and a nice little hammer that didn't mar the edge when I needed to hit it directly, and everything went together. And in the first half of a day or so, I was able to lay all of these planks, cleaning as I went, and then just inserting and tapping each one, and made good progress. So maybe 400 square feet or 500 square feet in the first afternoon, which to me was pretty good. And then the next day I dove back in and I picked it up right where I left off, and I worked through one of the more complicated doorways that I had, and after scribing it and cutting it and recutting it 10 different times, I was able to make it fit with no gaps, which was a huge accomplishment for me since this is my first time. There's a lot of tips and tricks I hadn't learned, but using the miter saw and a jigsaw, I made it happen. And I made sure to clean as I went using the vacuum. And this is checking in over on the drywall guys. They were now to the texturing process, which was another thing that I was so glad they were there for, because not only would it have taken me twice as long, but it wouldn't have looked as good. And I'm just glad they were here. So back over to the flooring, I finished the master and I got the trim back in, and the guys helped me work back through the other half of the house. And that means that by the end of day 2, we had our bedroom completely done. I got some caulk in there and we were able to get our bed back and didn't even have to sleep in the garage at all. The next day I picked up in the kitchen again, and this was also a little bit of a tight space to work in, but it went fairly smooth, and within a few hours I had the kitchen completely back together, and the guys were working on the flooring going into the bedrooms. And so I picked up the paint roller and decided to prep and paint the wall nearest to the kitchen so that we would kind of have a complete house from the kitchen over through the master once this was done. And I accidentally spilled a little paint, so I tested out the flooring and it actually cleaned pretty easily, so that's a bonus. And I got a little bit of practice doing baseboard trim, which was a first for me. I pulled it off and replaced it, but there was a few sections like this one where, because I changed the floor print, I actually cut some new trim, and it was pretty easy. Though I will definitely say caulking is an art that I have not refined, and I'm hoping that someday I can just not even have to do any of it with my finger, because it's a mess. How about these faceplate covers where the screws are completely hidden, so that OCD people like me who like screws to be, facing north to south, don't even have to worry about it because they're covered by the plate. And also, big win for me, I got some lights working, because I have very little electrical experience and it terrifies me still. I actually shocked myself doing this project, but we'll leave that behind us. And then it was time to show Sadie for the first time.
Whoa! What? You love it too? You love it too? Wow, it's so good.
Well, we got the stamp of approval from Maru and Sadie, which means it was time to start making the house somewhat like it was before this all started. And we are just so happy with the result. Maru, she doesn't give a lot of emotion, but she's happy to be able to go outside, and we're glad that when she comes in, she's not going to be causing a bunch of dirt and damage to the floor that can't be easily cleaned up. And it'll also put up with us in our active lifestyle, and certainly our kid that we have coming in just a few months, which we're super excited to have, and even more excited to just have a nice clean house to bring her home to. So this is a look at before the project started, and this is a look at how it is today. So we are super pumped. If you want to get samples from Flooret, check out the link in the description, and thank you so much for supporting this project.